We review music called hip-hop, a dual nature, once a beacon for the unheard, now sometimes glorifying violence, sexuality, and despair. Welcome everyone to Afrobeat Life E. Today we're reviewing the music of hip-hop and talking about hip-hop's evolution. It's a real conversation on how a genre that started as the voice of the voiceless turned into, well, something else at times. No cap, this is going to be deep and fun.
For sure, hip-hop came from the streets of the Bronx, right? Born in 1973 at a block party thrown by DJ Kool Herc, that back-to-school jam that basically gave birth to hip-hop. Back then, it was all about the DJ cutting breaks, the MC hyping the crowd. It was fun and creative. But even early on, it had this message element. It was the voice of the youth, especially black and brown youth. Chuck D of Public Enemy even called rap the black CNN because it told the news from the hood's perspective. That's facts. It spoke on what mainstream media ignored.
Absolutely. Early hip-hop was storytelling and social commentary at its core. Think about Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five with The Message in '82, a total game changer. Mel Mel rapped, "Don't push me 'cause I'm close to the edge." You can feel the frustration in that line. He's describing how tough life is in the ghetto. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. That track wasn't about bling or booty. It was about broken glass on the streets, poverty, struggle. It was real talk, shining light on harsh realities. And it resonated because it was reality for so many. Hip-hop was a beacon for the unheard indeed, a tool of empowerment and awareness.
True that, and hip-hop kept that spirit going. In the late 80s you had Public Enemy with Fight the Power, NWA with their Anger at Police Brutality. Those songs had messages. Even if they were angry or controversial, they were speaking truth to power. Fast forward to the 90s and you get Tupac. One minute he's got a party song, next minute he's doing Brenda's Got a Baby, telling a heartbreaking story of a 12-year-old girl who gets pregnant and is abandoned. That track still gives me chills. It exposed how society fails teen mothers. This was hip-hop shining a light on social issues. And there were many more like it. Queen Latifah's Unity calling for respect for women, or Common talking about faith and love. There was balance. We had the hype fun tracks and the conscious, uplifting ones side by side.
Yeah, hip-hop's cultural and artistic growth back then was incredible. It went from block parties to worldwide influence, and it carried the stories of marginalized communities with it. It was powerful to have that platform. But here's the flip side. Somewhere along the way, a different narrative got super popular. Like today, if you turn on the hottest rap playlists, what do we often hear? A lot of flexing about money, about shootings, about sex. The balance seems off.
Big time. These days, some tracks sound like audio action movies or like rated R material. Don't get me wrong, I love a banger at the club, but sometimes I'm listening to lyrics like, wait, did he just say that? For example, look at some recent hits. Lil Baby, who's one of the top artists, dropped a track 350 where he raps, basically talking about knocking someone off the map. And then 21 Savage, on a song literally titled Re-Drum, that's murder backwards, subtle, huh? Goes, he's straight up repeating murder over and over, like dang, that's violent. These songs are catchy, they bang in the car, but they're absolutely glorifying shooting enemies.
It's wild. And it's so common now that most people just vibe to it without flinching. Remember when 21 Savage had that line describing a drive-by shooting in such a slick way? People on social media were quoting it like a cool catchphrase. Even 21 had to respond on Twitter saying a song is for entertainment. In real life, I give away a lot of money and spread financial literacy. So he knows it's rough content, but he brushes it off as just art.
Right, he's basically saying, don't live my lyrics, kids. But it's true, these rappers often don't live the way their lyrics suggest, or at least they don't want their fans to. Still, the impact of the lyrics is there. I worry about the young listeners. Like, what happens when a 12-year-old keeps hearing how many opponents, a rapper has shot, or how cool it is to be a gangsta? Studies suggest that exposure to violent music lyrics is linked to more aggressive thoughts and behaviors in youth. It's also associated with risky stuff like substance abuse and even unsafe sex. So it's not just harmless fun. Kids absorb this.
That's a great point. When I was a kid, if I heard a rapper bragging about something, I thought it was cool. Today, kids might be thinking carrying a gun is normal because their favorite rapper rhymes about it in every song. The music can normalize these behaviors. There was even a case recently, two big rappers, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, had a feud where they dropped diss tracks full of threats. And it spilled into real-life violence with a drive-by at Drake's house. Like, when rap beef leaves the booth and hits the street, that's scary.
Seriously, and look at how many young artists we've lost to real violence. Pop Smoke, XXXTentacion, King Von, all gunned down. The line between art and life can blur. King Von, for instance, became famous with songs like Took Her to the O that vividly talk about shootings and gang life on Chicago's O Block. He lived that life and tragically died by that life. You'd hope these cautionary tales would make others tone it down, but if anything, it sometimes increases the street cred aura in the music. It's like a vicious cycle. The culture influences the music and the music influences the culture.
And it's not just violence. Let's talk hypersexuality in lyrics. Oh boy. Hip-hop has always had some freaky lines, but nowadays it's on another level of explicit, like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's recent joint, Bongos. Cardi opens the verse with, "Whoa, that's vivid to say the least." I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a funny line and the song is a bop, but can I play that around my little nieces and nephews? Heck no. And everywhere you turn on social media, you had kids and adults doing dance challenges to it, singing along.
Right, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, artists like Cardi and Megan say they're owning their sexuality, flipping the script in a male-dominated industry, like guys rap about sex all the time, so women doing it is empowerment. And I feel that more power to them being confident. But on the other hand, when every other song is about booty, cash, and one-night stands, it does send a message, especially to young listeners. It can contribute to this idea that objectifying women or equating your value to your sexual prowess is the norm. And as you noted, risky sexual behavior is another outcome researchers link to constant exposure to these lyrics. Early parenthood is still a big issue. And you gotta wonder if the music that glamorizes carefree sex adds fuel to that fire. I mean, we don't often hear about protection or consequences in these songs, do we?
Not at all, they make it sound like one endless party. Contrast that with Tupac's Brenda's Got a Baby we mentioned. That song was about the consequence, a baby born into despair. A girl with no support. That was meant to wake people up. Now a lot of hits just glamorize the act and move on. It's like, where's the responsibility? The result is some teens might think it's all good until reality hits. Same with drugs. That's another unhealthy behavior often glorified, like Future's mega hit Mask Off. The hook goes Percocet, Molly, Percocet, repeated over and over. Dude made a chart-topping anthem about popping pills. It hit number 5 on Billboard. I've literally heard kids sing Molly, Percocet, not fully knowing what it means, just that it sounds cool. That normalizes popping a Xan or sipping lean as just part of the lifestyle.
I remember that. And the radio had to bleep out Percocet and Molly because it's literally naming drugs. It's crazy. The hook was so catchy that people called the song Molly Percocet. So yeah, when we talk about glorification of unhealthy behaviors, it's all there in the music. Heavy drug use, drinking, not caring about consequences. It's like a rock star mentality, but in rap form. And tragically, we've seen artists like Juice WRLD, Mac Miller, Lil Peep lose their lives to overdoses after making music riddled with drug references. You can't say the music caused it, but it reflects a culture that downplays how dangerous these substances are.
Exactly, so here we are. Hip-hop still has that power and reach, but a lot of mainstream stuff is sending some rough messages. Shoot your enemies, objectify women, pop drugs, spend money like there's no tomorrow. Meanwhile, the original spirit of hip-hop uplifting people telling real stories feels like it's fading from the spotlight. Which begs the question, why don't we hear more about the positive stuff in songs? Like, why isn't financial literacy or mental health talked about in rap, at least not nearly as much as the negative themes?
Good question. I think about this a lot. We rarely hear a rapper say, "Yo, I opened a Roth IRA." It's just not seen as to rap about. Part of it is the industry formula sex, violence, and bling sell because they're exciting or fit a certain image. Record labels, and even us as an audience, often reward the bangers about flexing and drama. Some rappers might fear if they start giving TED Talks about savings accounts in their verses, their fans will tune out. There's this attitude like, we want escapism and fantasy in music, not lectures. Meanwhile, in real life, some of these artists do care about this stuff. Like we mentioned, 21 Savage, the man literally runs a financial literacy program for youth in his community. He's out here helping kids learn to budget and invest, but on an album he's more likely to rap about spinning the block on his enemies than teaching stock tips. A song is entertainment, as he said.
True, but it doesn't have to be one or the other. Some rappers found ways to drop gems about wealth and growth in their music and still make it fire. Look at Jay-Z. On The Story of OJ, he famously rapped, "Boom, financial wisdom in a hot song." He was talking about how credit, owning property, generational wealth are the real keys. That whole 444 album was like a seminar on wealth building and maturity. He even raps about buying artwork that appreciates in value to pass to his kids. Now Jay is an OG with a fan base that expected him to evolve and talk like a billionaire he is, so he could do that. Not every rapper has that freedom, but it's proof it can be done.
And it's ironic, rappers are entrepreneurs more than ever these days. They start clothing lines, liquor brands, tech startups, invest in companies. Like Dr. Dre became a near billionaire from Beats headphones, Rihanna, okay, she's more R&B/pop, but still hip-hop culture, became a mogul with Fenty, and Nipsey Hussle, R.I.P., was preaching ownership of masters and investing in his hood. Yet you don't hear a ton of tracks breaking down how they flipped a small business into an empire. We mostly hear I got money and I spend it lavishly rather than to make or keep that money. The iced-out custom chains and Lambos get all the shine in lyrics. It's cooler to say I blew 100K on a chain than I diversified my portfolio.
Seriously. And those custom chains? The second you walk out the jewelry store, that thing probably depreciated by half. It's like buying a car, not a great investment. Meanwhile, if you put that same 100K into, say, real estate or a business, you could be doubling it. But that story isn't flashy to rap about, I guess. Though I'd love to hear a track where a rapper flexes about owning apartment buildings or having an 800 credit score. That'd be a new vibe. It could actually educate people while still flexing, because trust me, having assets is a flex. Generational wealth is a flex. We just need artists willing to make that sound cool.
You mentioned mental and emotional health too, which is huge. Hip-hop historically had this macho, no-weakness stance. You couldn't show vulnerability, but we all have mental health to take care of. We've started seeing a bit of change. Kid Cudi opened up about depression and loneliness in his music, and a lot of kids found solace in that. Logic had that song 1-800-273-8255 about suicide prevention, and it literally saved lives. A study found that when that song came out, calls to the suicide hotline went up 27%, and hundreds of suicides might have been prevented. How incredible is that? An artist pours his heart out about wanting to die and finding hope, and people in real life say, "This song helped me hold on." That's the power of music used for good.
Wow, I remember that. That's beautiful. And it shows hip-hop can still be that beacon, right? We can have songs about overcoming depression or about starting a business or building your community, and they can hit people just as hard as a drill anthem, probably harder in a meaningful way. It just takes artists willing to go there and an audience willing to support it. I feel like there's a growing appetite for it, to be honest. Like, look at Lil Durk's song All My Life with J. Cole in 2023. That was positive and motivational, talking about staying focused despite the odds. Kids singing on the chorus, and it was a huge hit. Critics and fans loved that it was a departure from his usual stuff, and it even topped charts. It showed that listeners do crave inspiration. The song talked about overcoming violence and systemic oppression and striving for better, and people felt that. It's proof that you can come from the streets, rap about hope and progress, and still go platinum.
Amen. So it's not that hip-hop cannot be positive or varied in themes in 2025, it's that we need more of it, more balance. Keep the party tracks, the hype songs, those have their place, absolutely. We all need to turn up and blow off steam sometimes. But mix in the upliftment, the knowledge, the hope. Like, imagine an album that's as fun to listen to as any trap record, but by the end you also learned something or felt motivated to improve your life. That's the sweet spot. Hip-hop is such a powerful tool. It changed my life with some of the messages it had. It can change lives again on a bigger scale if artists steer it back to empowering storytelling, even part of the time.
Real talk hip-hop has always been about duality, the struggle and the success, the pain and the celebration. It's big enough to encompass all of that. We just got to amplify the positive side a bit more right now. Instead of only hearing despair or destructive stuff, let's push up the tracks about hope, love, hustle in a good way. And as fans, we should hype those songs too, not just the scandalous ones.
Exactly. The culture will go where we take it. Artists respond to what gets love. If meaningful songs get as much play and virality as the shock value songs, you best believe labels will want more of that. We already see glimmers of it, like Kendrick Lamar's All Right becoming an anthem at protests, with crowds chanting, "We gon' be all right" in the streets. That's hip-hop fueling real hope and real movements.
That's beautiful. And it reminds us that hip-hop is hope at its best. It was born from people who had little else, using rhymes and beats to say, we're here, we matter, and better days will come. It can still do that, even if lately it sometimes feels buried under all the bling and bang bang.
So here's our call to action, y'all. We love hip-hop, we respect the art and the grind. We're not here to bash the genre, we're here to challenge it to live up to its full potential. To our rappers, keep making those hits, but don't be afraid to drop knowledge and positivity in the mix. You can change the world with a 16-bar verse for real. And to us listeners, support the artists who uplift, not just the ones who tear down. Demand more from the music we bob our heads to.
Word. Let's celebrate the rappers telling the whole story, the pain and the triumph. Hip-hop started as a beacon for the unheard, and it can shine that light again even brighter. It's up to all of us in the culture. I'm hopeful, honestly. The tide can turn. We can party and still progress. We can spit bars and still build up our communities.
I'm with you 100%. Hip-hop has given us so much, it's only right we ask it to keep growing with us. From the message to the money moves, from despair to repair. Let's bring back the balance.
Imagine the next generation of rappers talking about mental health investment unity, all on dope beats. That's the future I want to see. And I think we're going to see it. As Kendrick said, despite everything, we're going to be all right.
We gonna be alright. Both laugh and bump fists. That's the vibe. Ending on a hopeful note. Feel that?
Definitely. Hip-hop's dual nature doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be its strength that can give us the real and also lead us to the ideal. Thanks for tuning into this conversation, everyone. Let's keep pushing for that empowering storytelling in hip-hop.
Much love to all the MCs, DJs, producers out there making a difference. And to the listeners, you have power too. Until next time, peace. Please follow, subscribe, and hit the like button if you found this information helpful. Your support helps spread the word and ensures others can benefit too. Thank you. We appreciate you and want to see you become the best version of yourself.